Hey there guys, what's going on? In this Best Class Setups in Modern Warfare series, we're back with a class with the newly added weapon in Season 4, the Fennec or the Vector from previous games. This weapon, depending on who you ask, is either busted or complete trash. I'm sitting somewhere in the middle, leaning a bit towards more busted just because the fire rate is super high and I'm always drawn to weapons with a high fire rate. And the Fennec does have a fire rate of about 1100 based on some really basic math that I did. That's the fastest in the game and you'd expect the recoil to be very wild as a result, but it's actually super manageable, like not even a problem at all. But the damage per bullet does make sense when you do consider the high rate of fire. It actually shares the same damage profile as the P90 of being a 4-shot chest kill at close to medium range at about 10-15 meters. Anyway, Season 4 is well underway and we'll be taking a look at the new assault rifle very soon, but for now let's try and get this video to 30 likes. We did recently pass 1860 subscribers and the video that went up yesterday is absolutely smashing it, and when we do hit 2000 subscribers we'll be doing another giveaway, so make sure you do click that subscribe button with those notifications turned on so you don't miss any more of the upcoming Season 4 content. So let's talk about the best class setup for the Fennec in Modern Warfare. Right, so we'll go over our sidearm perks and grenade choices here just for a more complete class setup. In this secondary setup, we do want a single X16 equipped with these attachments, with the monolithic suppressor, the Singard Arms Advantage barrel, the lightweight trigger, the 26 round mags for the maximum ammo capacity, and of course the fully loaded perk for even more ammo to fire. Interestingly enough, the X16 and the Fennec do share ammo, and you'll definitely need those extra bullets on those longer streaks because the fire rate on the Fennec just causes you to basically just throw your ammo in the garbage can every time. Like, you can fire like 30 bullets at someone, get the kill who's fairly far away, and you'll be like, I didn't think I actually fired that many bullets. So you just absolutely melt through your bullets here. So definitely having more with the fully loaded perk is always going to be good. Perk 1, we do want EOD or quick fix depending on whatever you prefer really, explosive resistance or a faster health regeneration upon getting a kill. Both of these are very powerful options, especially on close range maps. Perk 2, we do typically want Ghost just to keep us off of those UAVs. Again, it's perfect for close range maps or even larger maps. And Perk 3, we do want Tracker, which does let us see enemy footprints and a bunch of other stuff with Death Mark. We do usually roll the C4 in our lethal slot in our aggressive classes. Throwing it over walls and around corners is very powerful. And of course, the tactical is usually the stim shot just because getting an extra chance per life is super strong. Right, so we are going to talk about our attachments for the Fennec here, showing them off fairly close to the start of the video. And then we are going to jump into a particularly good game of mine to show off some useful tips with the Fennec. This section is going to be a little bit longer than usual as there are loads of different attachment options that all perform pretty similarly, but we'll start off with our must-have attachments first and then we'll talk about our interchangeable ones after. So with this particular class setup, we definitely need the 40 round drum mags. Basically, this just increases our ammo capacity to 40 while reducing our aim down sight speed and movement speed. With the Fennec, you can empty the stock 25 round mags in 1.4 seconds. That is absolutely insane, and sometimes you can fire all of 25 of your bullets and not secure a kill if you're panicking or you're just missing your shots. It's a very simple attachment here, combines well with the fully loaded perk from the X16 to give us about 240 shots all up, which is super strong. Next, we do need the stippled grip tape. Just the aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed are a must have here. We typically do feel quite sluggish with whatever combination of barrels that we do choose, so getting those sights up super quickly is really important. And I'd say the last must have attachment that we sort of need here is the no stock, of course, with the movement speed and aim down sight speed. It just allows us to get into those close situations more easily where we are super strong. Like, once you get into those close quarters, you can just spray down pretty much anyone apart from someone running an MP5, which does still have a faster time to kill up close. Now, with our muzzle, barrel, and underbarrel attachments, as I said, these all perform fairly similarly. We do have so many good choices here, it almost feels like too much. Makes you do wish that you could have 6 attachments on your weapon, and I'd almost bundle these together, and I'm convinced that it's not really important which of these that you do choose. You can, of course, take the ZLR 18-inch deadfall barrel, which does give us damage range, recoil control, bullet velocity, and of course, sound suppression. And then you combine this with either the Commando or the Merc foregrips just to add that little bit of extra recoil control to help us stay on target. This is a fairly standard combination that I'll typically take more often than the one we're about to talk about in a sec. Just allows us to be very accurate and still maintain a little bit of extra damage range while being on target and spraying those bullets downrange. Alternatively, you can of course take the ZLR 16-inch Apex barrel, which does give us damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control minus the sound suppression. And then you can of course combine this minus the Merc foregrip and take the ZLR Saber for the sound suppression, damage range, and recoil control. this is a fantastic muzzle option to use, but typically this particular option here does make us quite sluggish. It does take a while for us to aim down sight, and we move around a little bit more slowly than normal, which for a close range bullet hose is not ideal. From my testing, these do perform quite similarly as they share very, very similar stats, and either way you go, like regardless of which one of these options you do choose, you're going to perform similarly. You're not going to be able to pick people across the map with any of these attachments, so you can pick whichever combination of these particular muzzle, barrel, and underbarrel that you do prefer. In my opinion, the best option is the ZLR 18-inch deadfall and of course the Merc foregrip. Basically, these two options do make us very, very accurate. It means we can fight at a little bit of range and we still are able to hit those shots very easily. Also, a special mention here to the 5mm laser and of course the Merc foregrip combo. You can basically just sprint around everywhere and hip fire people. It is hilarious and really effective. Like, it's sometimes not fair, just you sprint around everywhere and you just spray a million bullets at them before they even get a chance to fight back. And if you're using like an assault rifle, basically anything but the MP5, you'll pretty much get the kill every time as long as you do hit those shots. Anyway, I do really, really like the Vector, as I think it's a very, very fun, powerful weapon to use, but I think we're all a little bit wary of this not being great at range. But come on, we have been blessed by one of the best SMGs in Call of Duty history in the MP5, which does work at pretty much all ranges, which is not really the job of an SMG. But anyway, we're going to talk about that more in a sec in the gameplay and towards the end of the video. If you are dropping out of this one at this stage, now that you've got your attachments, I do appreciate you stopping by. But for the rest of you, we are going to go over some gameplay with some tips for this weapon. Alright, so there's nothing like a little bit of live commentary to get the worst out of me playing this particular game. Scrapyard is a very, very cool map in this game, but it does have its problems, and that's sort of always been the case. It's nothing specific with the Modern Warfare version of Scrapyard that I don't really like, but it's still pretty fun. As you can see there with the range on the Fennec, it's not super powerful. We did take at least like 500 bullets to kill that man, which is usually too many. Like, you would assume that that was too many bullets to be firing at a man just to try and get one kill, but the gun does shoot very, very quickly. This particular version of Scrapyard does have a number of angles that you can sit on and basically just pick people off from. And I want to show you some of them here, because they are very, very powerful options on certain game modes. So if we do flank around the back here with this particular option, we're going to be very powerful at these sort of ranges. Like, the option where we can definitely get our gun up, get those bullets down range, we are going to be super, super powerful. And that's sort of hard to argue with. Like, there's nothing that an enemy can really do about it. Like, that kind of range is a little bit too far for this. And just because the MP5 can do these ranges doesn't mean every single SMG in the game. I mean, it does make the MP5 still the best SMG because of that, which is a little bit of a shame, as people do typically like to use other things, not just the same gun over and over again. Also, I wanted to point out this particular angle here. Like, you're definitely able to see people's red icons as they come through here, but they probably won't be able to see you. So, apart from, I mean, I just nabbed this. Amazing. Well, that's pretty helpful. That support healer should be able to let us do some pretty serious work here, but you can just see at those particular ranges there, like, you just absolutely shred people. Man, leave me alone. But seriously, the Vector is, or the Fennec, sorry, I'm going to keep calling it the Vector until probably the end of time, because it is what it is. Like, it is we got completely outplayed there. Like, a simple right-hand turn just absolutely dominated us there. Anyway, the Vector is always going to hold a special place in most people's hearts, as it was a very powerful option in another game. Just like a super fun weapon to use with an awesomely fast fire rate. And like, that's what people remember, and that's what people love. Like, people want weapons that are strong, mate. Okay. Strong and fun to use is basically what people are after, and this sort of fills that bill. Like, it's not the most powerful weapon in the game. Like, it's definitely not the best SMG. That still definitely goes to the MP5, which is a little bit of a shame, but I mean, just look at the hang on. Give it back. Just look at the close range damage here. Like, we do so much work with this, it is unbelievable. Also, one of the things that I hate most in the world on Scrapyard is that smoke. Like, the smoke over there. I think it is literally the worst part of any map in Call of Duty. But again, we just have the range sort of to win those close range fights and get that sort of get most kills at those particular ranges, just because of the fire rate does carry us a lot here. Like, it's so super fast. 1100 rounds per minute is definitely the fastest in the game by a little bit. I think the MP7 is maybe close to 900, like 1000, which again is very, very fast. We are definitely going to lose this game though, do our boys not actually... Oh. Alright. I was going to say due to our boys not actually playing the objective, but, I mean, we accidentally walked onto the point here. But man, just at those sort of medium range fights, close range fights, you just absolutely... Okay, we are in trouble here. Sometimes the pistol is a useful option to pull out, but it's not really super strong. We want to be doing most of our killing with the Vector. Mostly the X16 is there for those extra bullets, and that's fine. Like, that's a perfectly reasonable thing for a gun to be used for, just like the extra bullets for your main. Where did he go? Is he... He went all the way around. Yeah. This smoke is like the most irritating thing in the world, but you can use this as a one-way. I'm going to try and show that off again. You can use this as a one-way smoke, which if you aren't familiar with a one-way smoke, it means you can see through it and other people can't. Which is a sort of a more concept from CSGO and like Valorant and those kind of games where you make a smoke that only you can see through. It's not super common in Call of Duty, but it's still usable and it's a very, very powerful option. Especially for, it was, what, Demolition I used it for, and it was very, very strong. But other than that, Scrapyard is an interesting map, I would say. Man, go away. And it turns out that the Fennec /Vector is a very powerful weapon, in my opinion. Like, it's not super, super strong. Like, it's not busted or anything. It's probably fairly well balanced, and it's probably as well balanced as a weapon like this should be. Okay. Bad bit of movement there got us killed. And we are definitely going to lose this game quite slowly. So the next one is going to be over here, I believe, in this B building. So we should try and hold that as best we can. Does that dude have Damascus on it already? No. I don't think so. Shut the doors. And we're going to hold up in here. Oh, that's awkward. That's actually lost me a game before. I did lose a game betting on where the hard point was going to be located, and I guessed wrong. I mean, it wasn't really a guess. Like, I did know where it was going to spawn, but it was either side, and I couldn't remember which one it was. But yeah, I think that everyone has sort of a very similar problem with Scrapyard, and that's fairly campy. Like, just these two buildings at either end of the map mean, like, people camp in them. We didn't do super well there, but hopefully we did explain just how powerful the Vector can be, or the Fennec can be, rather. I'm going to keep calling it the Vector until the end of time. But again, it's just one of those weapons that's always going to be super strong up close, and it's not going to be super great at medium range. 1914 is not super great, but I feel like we did a fairly good job of showing off some of the more important things on Scrapyard and with the weapon. So we'll have our final thoughts in a second. Alrighty, so this is our full class setup here with all of our attachments that we've chosen, and our perk, sidearm, and grenade choices are as follows. The most important thing here is the fully loaded perk on the X16, and then basically these are our attachments which make us super, super strong. The Fennec is a very, very powerful close range option in Modern Warfare. Again, as I said, it does still have a slightly slower time to kill up close than the MP5, but it basically outshines everything else at close range. Overall, I am still in favour of the MP5 as for the best SMG in Modern Warfare, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's still up there. The Fennec's fire rate is just so fantastic, like 1100 rounds per minute, you just delete people up close, and that's basically the way that it should be. The MP5 is so powerful that it genuinely makes you forget that SMGs are supposed to be only for close range. You do have a lot of options in terms of attachments, and you can make a more solid class out of basically whatever you prefer. If you did enjoy this one, or it did help you out at all with your Fennec class, make sure you do leave a like, and do subscribe if you are new around here. We're still working towards 2,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane, and as I said at the start, we'll be having another giveaway when we do hit that mark over on my Discord. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!